Hey guys, today we have another great deck profile from Nick Gibson, the guy from Dice Age Games who works for the Yu-Gi-Oh! Organization. He's a great friend of mine, and if you want to see another deck profile from him, a very special hero deck from the OCG, you should check out my entry into the next round of the next great Yu-Gi tuber. I will link you to it in the description below. If everybody who watches this video clicks on that link and hits the thumbs up button and then even just comes right back to this video, then I will be guaranteed to make it to the next round of the next great Yu-Gi tuber, and that would be so cool. So y'all should do that, and then you can watch this great deck profile on Burning Abyss from Nick Gibson. Let's go.
Having a good time, having a good time.
What's up, my Yu-Gi Bros? I'm your host, the one, the only, the RJB0. Welcome to Yu-Gi-Oh! And Business Casual. We are back with Nick Gibson. Today, he has once again totally destroyed the format by going 7-0 with Burning Abyss at locals. This is a version of the build that I haven't really seen a whole lot of, and it seems to work really well. Let's get down to it. Any initial statements, Nick?
Tour Guide OP.
Okay, let's go.
Tour Guide OP.
Tour Guide OP.
Tour Guide is the Bujin Yamato of this deck. You want to see this as early as possible. Great card. Tour Guide into Dante. And you have the Burning Abyss. They're very self-explanatory. They blow themselves up when there is a non-Burning Abyss on the field. Each of them has separate effect. Skarm being the most treasured one because at the end phase he takes any level 3 Dark Fiend and adds it to hand, which is Tour Guide. You can't Accurate Bandit and all that stuff, but that's, I mean, in my opinion, I don't think they're very optimal. Graph is the way to get your engine going. If he dies, he gets one from the deck, so you either graph into Skarm, and then Skarm, you do something with it at the end phase, and then you get it back. And then Cura is my best one, actually. I like him the most because he loops with Dante. If you put him under Dante, if Dante dies, Cura brings back him in defense mode. And then when Dante dies, he gets back Cure, and it's just like this huge, amazing loop. So if you have two Dantes in the graveyard, both which were successfully summoned, it's just a loop of nothing but defense, which is how I beat Infernity today.
And next is my favorite tech of the deck.
I ran two guys, because inherently these guys are going to special summon themselves, and Caius is basically in there just as to banish random cards. Bujin's Yamato, essentially on their turn 1, they dump the hair, so they have no turtle. So this is great against Bujin on turn 1. It hits a lot of the, I mean, if we look at the format, it hits Winda. Winda, you take 1,000 damage, you don't get the fusion back. You hit Deltaros doesn't get anything back. You hit the Yang Zing don't trigger. It's just like great against the entire thing. It gets a mirror match, it banishes their Malabranch also and makes sure they don't get anything. Great card. And then two Crane. This is Graveyard Tour Guide. This is a mechanical bird that gets Malabranch back to make more rank 3s. Pretty explanatory. And then spells, I was pretty iffy on this, had it at 3, and Konami seems to think this is the biggest win condition of the deck. Rank up Magic Astro Force, and all its $15 glory for some odd reason. So basically what this does is it takes any, you have to target the Xyz with the highest rank on your field, which is extremely important. And then you rank it up 2 ranks with the same attribute in type, and yeah. So you can basically like turn Dante into Pleiades, you can turn Alucard into Braum. Just a great card. If you end up with the Kurd Dante loop, you can end with Dante and then add Astro Force back if you milled it, and then use it to go into Pleiades, since he's always going to keep coming back.
How much work did Astro Force put in today?
Actually, it did a couple wins, because at the late game I ended up cycling Dante back to the field and then adding it back to get the Pleiades, to detach Dante to get back Kerr, and then bounce their stuff, and then I have the Kerr to get back Dante. It's stupid. My favorite tech of the deck is Creature Swap. Obviously this is staple for this deck because you give them the Malabranch. If they have another monster, the Malabranch instantly dies, you trigger their effect. So it's basically, I mean, I guess like a permanent change of heart. And if this card is ridiculously good, self-explanatory. And then my tech of the deck, which I really enjoy, is Enemy Controller. I had a lot of times where Tour Guide would try to get Veiler or Fiendish Chain, and you can econ the Tour Guide off to get the Skarm. Basically, it guarantees your engine keeps on going. You can special summon or normal summon one of the Malabranch and econ something. If you're left with a Malabranch or Dante, you can econ it off to take their monster tribute for Caius and get everything off. Like, there's so many plays that this deck does that econ is just ridiculous in. And then Staple 2 MST, Book of Moon, Foolish. Foolish basically is a searcher for Tour Guide, and then one alert. I was running the beginning of the end for a while, and then that card was just awful. 3 Phoenix Wing Wind Blast, and 2 Divine Wrath.
Mario's being weird.
Basically cards with a discard cost, and Divine Wrath is actually one of my favorite trap cards right now, simply because it negates summons before they even happen. Basically what I'm talking about is with things like Satellarknights, it stops the first initial effect. With the Yang Zing, it stops their effect in the graveyard, stops hands. There's so many cards that this deck, this is just a out of nowhere card. And then Phoenix Wing just gets rid of a lot of like good Exceeses and stuff. Winda, great card for the format. And 2 Mirror and Force, obvious, good traps. 2 Breakthrough Skill because I hate Winda. El Shaddai Winda. Was anticipating that quite a bit, and it's good for other decks. 2 Wiretap because I expect a lot of force that's going to keep me from making my combos go off. Wiretap is just great to keep that card going. And then Compulse Bottomless Torrential. So basically, the deck lacks a lot of power, so it kind of depends on the traps to make up for it, but the toolbox you get from the rank 3s and the Malibranch themselves kind of make up for the fact that the deck lacks the power.
What would you like to change about the main deck, if anything?
You know, I probably wouldn't change anything. The deck's been working out so well. I literally, like, out of today, I played, let's see, 7 rounds. That's at least 14 games if I went 2-0 every game, which means minimally I'd be playing, I think it was like 21 games. I only drew 1 bad hand out of the entire game, out of all of my games. And so, with that ratio, I don't want to change anything. I don't see anything wrong with it. And then for the extra deck, we have the 2 Dante. I always thought that 1, when I first looked at the deck, I was under the opinion that 1 Dante was really good, and after testing, this guy is really, really good. The defense is really good. The milling, even though you mill 3 randoms and they might be spilling traps, it's good because you're digging through your deck. Just really good. Zen Mines, because why not? Fortune Tune is my favorite rank 3 in this deck, aside from Dante. You shuffle back your Tour Guides, your Storms, your Cranes, you gain life points, so this deck likes to grind infinitely, especially with the Dante Kerr loop. So you can sit there on beaters all day and defenders, and this guy is just going to keep getting you life points and putting you back in the game while you dig for resources. Especially because it's a 1-card tour guide into this and it can't be targeted. So Deltaros can't hit it, Boxia can't put it back, or Bashia, and like this card is just ridiculous. Granosaurus for the Volcasaurus, brilliant because of the OTKs that this deck has. Acid Golem because of the creature swap, so there's an alternate win condition to the deck. Tempo is really good. Really good if for like just random Exceeses that are going all over the place. I know Infernities this was really good against them because I was detaching from the Lawful Chain. Levier, if you banish off Allure and stuff and Bottomless, this happens, so Levier is really good. And Alucard, because Alucard is really good. You have for the rank 5s for Astro Force, you have Alucard Braum, and then Braum can detach to the monster reborn into your opponent's graveyard, but it's the only one that can attack. So if they have a problematic monster, like Stardust for instance, then you're playing Yang Zing, you get their Stardust back, and then they can't do anything about it. You have Tiras, which comes from the Engineer that is... oh, right here. Okay, the Engineer that's in there. Also, Engineer is in here. So Engineer you can sit on for a couple turns, and then if you have the Astro Force, you can bring it back and Astro Force this into Tiras. So you have an indestructible monster, and you can keep popping cards. Pleiades, which is an Astro Force target for Dante. And when you detach Dante off of Pleiades, you get more cards back. It's really good. And the last one is Volcasaurus for the Granosaurus, rank up.
It's really good.
And the reason why this deck is so good to me is because I felt the extra deck was the side deck was very easy and very versatile. Basically just 3 Max C, 2 Noblemen because Shaddolls are becoming a thing, and Geargia still. 3 Light Imprisoning, which this, honestly, when you ask me about changing the deck, I might think about this a little more, because while it does stop Satellarknights, it stops Dante, and that was actually very detrimental. I had like a 20-turn game because of that. 3 Skill Drain, because everything activates in the graveyard. This card shuts down so many decks. 2 Vanity's Emptiness, because you can sit on a couple monsters and basically draw them out while you get resources, and then you can kill the Vanities yourself. And basically really good. And then 2 rivalry, because you have all fiends, stops weird random rogue matchups. Really great card. So basically, the side deck is extremely versatile. The extra deck is very straightforward, and the main deck is very trap heavy. So basically, it has a great matchup against pretty much all the meta.
Alright, there you guys go. That is his Burning Abyss deck that just totally proved me wrong about Burning Abyss. And you said that this surprised you as well?
Yeah, I actually went in there with the intentions of not doing so well, and as I kept playing the deck, I was drawing ridiculous hands. The plays were just kind of flowing together. It was actually a really good deck overall. I did plenty of testing with my friend also, so it actually really surprised me that it did this well. And I wasn't playing against rogue matches. I was playing against, Bujin, Girgia, good players also, so...
Alright, there you guys go. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, hit that thumbs up button. If you didn't, let me know why in the comment section below. And of course, subscribe for more decks, discussion, analysis, and general Yu-Gi-Oh! Shenanigans, including apparently a lot from Nick now. He's becoming a regular feature on my channel. Thank you guys for watching. I got a jet. See ya.